evening. It's Thursday night. Welcome to the Cantina Happy Hour. Pull up a stool, grab yourself a drink, and let's talk about Star Wars. I am your host, David. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
Good. Tired, but I'm good.
I'm tired too. Cam is also with us tonight. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Oh yeah, getting over 2 weeks of being sick, so it's been a process bouncing back from everything, but I'm here.
And of course, Andrew. Andrew, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Well, it's Thursday. I had to work late tonight, so I got home. It was dark outside.
It gets dark at like 4:30. I mean, come on. Oops.
Yeah, but it's
Or 5:30 and more.
Well, it was past 5:30 then. That's very odd.
The time change has definitely kind of messed me up. You know, I'm not used to walking out my door at 6:30 in the morning going, ah!
And see, I think it's killing me too because I don't know, the last couple of nights it's just been like I've gotten home from work and I'm just like I sit on the couch and I'm like Monday night was the worst. I was like I told my wife, I was like, I don't think I could have done a show tonight even if I wanted to. I had my free dinner and I sat on the couch and was gone. I mean, like gone. So, but we did take Monday night off. Thank you for allowing me the night off so that I could sleep and catch up, I guess. But anyway, let's talk some Star Wars. So we've got some news that came out this week. Andrew? This is from the Hollywood Reporter, you said?
Yes. So this specific posting is from the Hollywood Reporter.
This was on Threads. So there's several points here, and we'll go point by point. First point, multiple films in development that overlap characters and timelines. They could impact the others from happening. So my takeaway on that is that they're how do I want to put this? It's like and Star Wars has always been like
they don't really know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Although that overlap characters and timelines. Yeah, they don't know. Rey is a key character in several of them, which we kind of figured with they're doing the Rey movie. So I'm wondering if they're trying to take more of a Marvel approach to things, to where it's like, okay, we're going to take one character, we're going to focus on them, and there'll be stuff that happens that she'll be like the central kind of character. Whatever happens is going to affect her in the next movie or whatever.
Because there was a report, it's not on this, but that she would have like an Obi-Wan sort of role in some of the movies.
I'd be okay with her taking on an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I would too, so long as it's Finn. Yeah. I think they wasted him, but what do I know?
Yeah.
The next point, some Lucasfilm directors are aware of what others are working on while others are not. Now that's good and bad. To me, that's bad because we need to keep the stories consistent. However, that's good because if too many people know about everything that's going on, there's too much of a chance for leakage. Is that a good way to put that?
Yeah.
Possible, somebody let it slip. Or it could be that this director over here has no idea what this director over here is doing, because this director over here, his movie has absolutely nothing going on with what's going on over here. So what does he need to know it for?
True.
And then you end up something like the sequels.
Well, and that's the bad thing. I mean, the good thing is the good part of that is that, well, like I said, Filoni's working on a Mandalorian movie, but then you've got Patty Jenkins working on a new Rogue One, but it happens before the Mandalorian even happens, so that one's not going to affect the Mandalorian in any way, shape, or form. So Let's see. The original trilogy is considered the Old Testament. Quote, you are being asked to create the New Testament, and no one can agree on anything, and there's a lot of second guessings about meanings. This is why they need to stick Dave Filoni in charge, make him the Star Wars czar, make him the Kevin Feige of Star Wars. He knows all and controls all.
Yeah.
That's basically what you would have to do. Is everything kind of has to go through him, and then that way he can say, okay, that's fine, this is fine, this is fine, and this is fine, but this doesn't line up, so we got to reword this somehow or another.
Mm-hmm.
Another source says Star Wars is a nostalgia-based enterprise, and they are running out of ways to create nostalgia.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I
No,
mean,
you just create new nostalgia.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if every Star Wars project or every show, movie, whatever has something about it that's considered iconic. You know, the original trilogy had Vader, the prequel trilogy had Anakin, the sequel trilogy had Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. So I feel like the best way to bait nostalgia, so to speak, is to create a character for the audience to get behind, and have a lot of the callbacks, not just be callbacks, but have them be things that affect what you already know about that character.
Well, and it's not just the callbacks to that character. I think it's callbacks to the universe in general. And this is one of the biggest complaints that I had about the sequel trilogy. And I think I've mentioned this before is, you had we had the original trilogy and everybody loved the original trilogy. But then you go back and you watch the prequel trilogy and it's very subtle. You don't really pay attention to it, but a lot of the aliens and background characters that were in the sequel or in the prequel trilogy, you saw those same species types of things in the original trilogy. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, this is Star Wars because this is the universe that I'm in. You saw Rhodians, you saw Twi'leks and things like that. I mean, you kind of, without thinking about it, you knew that you were in Star Wars. But then you jump to the sequel trilogy, and yeah, there was a lot of really cool aliens, and you had cool little bar scenes and all kinds of, but none of them were characters that not characters, but species that we knew. So to me, it was like, okay, this is cool, this is Star Wars, but this is a different part of it. Doesn't match the other part of Star Wars, which is what they're trying to sequelize the original, the trilogy. And we need to, if you're going to do that, that's fine. That's all well and good. But you need to make it tie with the original trilogy. You need to make it look like it was part of the original trilogy. Ando is on. I'm sorry, Ando. I know you probably typed this a long time ago, but I'm just now looking at my chat. So sorry. But hi, how are you? Okay, what's next? To make standalone movies or continuing the Skywalker saga in any form is a fundamental question the company faces as it tries to move forward. Get off the Skywalker saga. I think what happened?
I think you offended Andrew. Oh, there
I
you go.
offend you, Andrew?
I just got booted off. Oh my gosh.
I didn't do it.
I love the Skywalker saga.
No, the Skywalker saga is good, but it's them. Now, if you want to continue on with Rey and do, the story behind her, have her take an apprentice, have her do a new Jedi Order, that's fine, but don't call it the Skywalker saga. We're done with the Skywalkers.
Well, I think that's what they're leaning towards, because now she's a Skywalker, so this is going to be her saga.
Be a new Skywalker saga.
Mm-hmm. That's my impression.
We're all mindless here anyway, so yeah, hopefully, it does help.
I'm okay with that too, because I do really like Rey as a character, and I wasn't somebody who particularly minded so much that she took up the Skywalker name. But being that as it is, not just from a narrative standpoint, but just from like a writing and production standpoint in general, her character now has some pretty big shoes to fill now that she's declared that.
Right.
So I think that Lucasfilms is going to be kind of fighting an uphill battle here, because Rey was a controversial character from the start. I mean, even before we knew anything about her, she was controversial. So they're going to kind of be having to tiptoe around these people who are waiting on their keyboards to type in Rey tarnished the Skywalker name.
Unless she meets another Jedi or falls in love with somebody and takes their name when they get married.
And then they say, you just give up the Skywalker name that easily? Yeah.
Actually, what will happen, let's say Rey meets somebody, she falls in love, and his name is Martin Jade.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
Just a thought. Throwing it out there.
Now,
Just to see what people would say.
I'm not somebody who needs to have Mara Jade come to canon. I truly couldn't care less. But that right there, even that would upset me.
And that's why I probably shouldn't write for Lucasfilm, because I would want to piss somebody off.
It's like you're pissing off somebody who doesn't give a shit, and that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That is that. You know what that is? That's not pissing them off. That's an intentionally I'm pissing you off, because that is a fine. You want it? Fine. Here it is. How do you like it now, sucker?
Yeah. Let's see how they like
that one.
Let's see how they like Grand Admiral John.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
And he's a green female.
Oh man.
Yeah. People, I swear. Let's see all the keyboards catch fire across the world as people are typing.
Our comment section is going to go off. All right,
that's fine. I don't care. Let them come. No, we like hearing your comments, and I hope we are amusing you to some degree or not. I am not being serious about that at all, but I hope that we are.
Now you're going to be kicking yourself if that somehow actually happens. But honestly, though, with the timeline, I don't really know how that would happen.
Well, it's kind of like what Marvel did with the Mandarin. If you know anything about the comics, true. I mean, the Mandarin is a huge crime boss, warlord, someone to really be feared. And then, when Iron Man 3 came out and they said, oh yeah, the main villain of Iron Man 3 is the Mandarin, everybody was like, oh my god, this is it. This is going to be the one. And they build him up all throughout the movie just to have him be like some Cockney actor at the end. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I'm not really the Mandarin. I'm just an actor who's acting like him. Oh, yeah. The fans went nuts. Oh god.
Yeah. And that guy's coming back.
Worst movie ever.
He's coming back.
I don't.
Ben Kingsley, yeah.
Ben Kingsley.
A Wonder
What's
Man.
he doing now?
He'll be in Wonder Man too.
Oh, speaking of,
I don't know if it was. I'm thinking it was Thunderbolts, wasn't it? Wasn't he in the trailer?
He might have been, yeah. But I know he's in Wonder Man too.
Look what I got.
Maybe he was in that trailer.
I went and found me some Wonder Man comic books.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna find out about this character because I have no clue.
I didn't know either, honestly. And I've read a good share of comic books, and then when the trailer dropped out, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Exactly. Oh, PG-13. We've already dropped it. Can't do it now, Debbie. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Cam dropped our F-bomb.
I mumbled it.
Technically, he didn't say the whole thing. He kind of mumbled half of it. So
okay, fine.
I put a couple asterisks in there.
Yeah.
What's this last one? TV side has a lot more freedom and is not having these problems. Well, no duh. Just saying. And something else TV I think is doing too, that it's giving a lot more directors a chance to
Dip their toes into the Star Wars
That's
universe.
exactly what I was gonna say, Debbie. Geez, we're like,
We do this all the time.
my
We're
head.
just the same wavelength. We're twinsies.
twinsies.
Oh,
But
I
yeah.
forgot to say that. Did y'all see the new look at the Andor photos?
Yes.
From Empire Magazine.
Yeah.
It looks pretty nifty.
And there was a quote from it's Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Krennic, was asked about who we're talking about tonight, if Tarkin appears in season 2 at all, and he was basically like, I can't answer that question.
I don't know why people bother.
So that's a
asking
yes.
questions.
Exactly.
Like they're under NDA. They ain't gonna say shit unless they're
even
allowed
if they
to.
could, they're
Yeah.
not Tom Holland. They're not going to give her up. I'm sorry.
and there's so many other like actor ways to answer that question without answering the question. It's like, oh, so is Tarkin going to show up? And he could kind of straighten up in his chair and be like, yeah, I mean, the writers are bringing in a whole lot of characters that the fans really like, and blah blah blah. So like, answer it without answering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I'm excited. Ben Mendelsohn is coming back.
Oh yeah,
I think,
K2SO
we're doing all these character studies, and that's all well and good. But I think after Andor season 2, I think we need to do Krennic, because I really liked him as a character in Rogue One. So,
and the little bit we get of him in Bad Batch,
and the
very little bit.
Yeah.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
When you get Order 65 at a restaurant, we're on the verge of greatness.
Oh, I took my. Gosh, well, I don't even know what I did with it. I laminated my receipts just because I was like, I'm not getting rid of this. Order 66, come on. That doesn't happen that often.
True.
So anyway, all right, let's talk about Tarkin. And Tarkin's one of those characters that, in A New Hope, when I was a kid, it never really clicked with me that he died on the Death Star, because that was one of the things that I always had issues with, was that, well, he's not in Empire. Where did he go in Empire? And it didn't click in my head that he was still on that Death Star when it blew up. I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't see a body. But something that always resonated with me was that I was like, Darth Vader is not really the bad guy in this. It's Tarkin. Tarkin's the one running the show. Darth Vader's just kind of the lackey. He's the muscle. He's the
enforcer.
Yeah, exactly. He's like what was it? Which I can't even remember with James Bond, when Jaws first came on. Jaws was like wasn't, if I recall correctly, when Jaws first appeared, he wasn't really the main bad guy. He was like somebody's muscle. So he was just kind of there, and George Lucas kind of really enforced that too, to where if you notice in episode 1, you've got Newt Gunray kind of running things, and he's saying, I'm sending my apprentice to come help you. I'm sending my apprentice Darth Maul, and he's going to come help you. Well, Darth Maul wasn't running the show. He was just there kind of as the muscle, if you will. So it was kind of the same thing, to where it's like, okay, well, and it wasn't really until Empire that Vader kind of stepped into the, all right, I'm running the show now, my thing. But Tarkin, Vader was the yes man.
I don't know that I call him a yes man.
I don't know that I would either. He was more of a. I'm just here to make sure that everything's done according to the Emperor's will. And he's basically there to make sure Tarkin does everything right. And give him help when he needs it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's Tarkin. But Peter Cushing again nails it. He's a glorious, glorious actor. His credits are like Alec Guinness. There's just he's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what's interesting is that he was in several movies with Alec Guinness, but he was also in quite a few movies with a lot of movies actually with Christopher Lee. Yes, I knew. My hamster's running. It's just not really fast. I'll catch it. I'll get it.
Debbie's is running at double speed.
Because Christopher Lee did several movies in the 70s where he was Dracula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
two or three, and each one of those, I think Cushing played Van Helsing. So he was the guy hunting Dracula, basically.
And they were pretty good friends in real life.
Even though
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee outlived him by a lot.
It would have been cool if they were able to be in Star Wars together. That would have been cool.
Because Cushing died in early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in that time frame, I think.
Peter Cushing, 1994.
Okay, so early 90s.
And Lee was 2015, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
So-
I think so.
about 20 years.
Oh, now I'm getting all sad.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah. Wow, it's been over 10 years now. Or no, next year will be
Almost
10 years.
10 years.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Now I'm getting all sad, nostalgic, and everything.
Oh, just wait until the world implodes whenever darling Harrison Ford finally passes,
Oh man.
because he's certainly no spring chicken anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
How old is he, Debbie?
82.
Oh, good God. I was going to say in the 70s somewhere, but that makes it worse.
Then that would mean that Mark Hamill would be the only living main original trilogy character.
No, Anthony Daniels is still around.
Oh, that's right.
And Billy D.
That's
Williams.
right.
And Billy
Yeah.
D.
Oh,
Williams.
that's right.
He's still around, too.
That's true.
In fact, Billy D. still voices Lando from time to time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he's
animated
getting up
things.
there in age. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
yeah.
I think he's older than Harrison, isn't he?
Let me see.
He might be.
Let's see. He is. Well, can't do that.
I think he's 70 something.
87.
Oh my
87.
Oh, geez. Oh, he's
Good
worse than
job.
8. Oh, God. Oh,
Dave,
no.
how you
His-
feeling?
You know, I don't know, because we were talking about John Williams last week, and that's going to hit hard when he goes, and he's 91, 92, somewhere in that
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Anthony
93.
Daniels is 78. Just to let you know.
Oh, well, there you go. That makes me feel a little better, I guess. But, and George Lucas has got to be up there too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got
He's in his 80s too.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
he's
gotta be
he's
pushing-
right at 80.
Oh, he's right at 80.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess that makes me feel a little bit better, but still, it's,
Every time David has said this person's in their 70s, they're like 90 years old. And then when he says they're in their 90s, they're in their 70s. So whatever he says, it's backwards.
Yeah.
See, that right there is kind of the equivalent of like, oh yeah, 1980 was like 20 years ago.
it wasn't. What?
Well, you know, if Back to the Future took place today, Marty would be going back to 1994.
to see his parents at the prom.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. 1994. I was 2 years old at the time.
Dang.
80
had
is the
three-
new 77.
I had 3 kids by then.
94.
Wow. My dad was already out of college.
I was getting ready to graduate.
And my mom was 14. I obviously was not born.
Your mom's
You
young.
couldn't tell. So
Mrs. Andrews' mom, if you're watching, you're a young spring chicken. There you go.
she's out partying tonight, so she's not
Oh.
watching right now.
All right.
Is it a Fortnite party?
Yeah, well, how'd you know? It's
Playing-
a tournament, you know.
Oh,
We get all
I
the
was
ladies that
right.
play in my neighborhood. We
was
get
gonna
all the
say-
top players in the neighborhood, and they go play. And
see, you see those movies where those little old ladies get around and they play dominoes or mahjong or whatever.
yeah,
and
imagine that, but with Fortnite and a bunch
they're
of Red
playing.
Bull.
They're playing Fortnite. Yeah. Anyway, what else? Tarkin. He's just Cushing has a way of portraying the character where he's just cold and evil. He's a lot like Thrawn. The way Thrawn was portrayed, where it's just like he's cold and evil, and he's cold and evil, and he's still kind of not calculating. Like I see the look of confusion. on your face.
He is like Thrawn in the sense of he waits for you to think you've won, and you slip up and make a mistake, and then that's when he takes action.
He is strategic.
Yeah, I mean he does that with Leia,
Yeah,
and you see that in A New Hope.
you're far too trusting. Dantooine is too remote to make an effective demonstration, but don't worry, we will deal with your friends soon enough.
He just has a way of looking down his nose at you that I just love.
It's that accent. You know what? That's exactly what it is. That accent gave him a sense of superiority. I think that's exactly what it is. I am British, and I.
Well, and I think his strategy and that kind of behavior comes from his military background.
The actor or the character?
Oh, the character Tarkin.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe Peter
I
Cushing
wouldn't
was in the
doubt it.
military. I don't know. I can't.
I don't know if he was or not.
Don't
He might have
fact check
been.
me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, if he's anything like Christopher Lee, he probably was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christopher Lee's kind of a. We need to do. We don't need to do Dooku. We need to do Christopher Lee.
It was like, what didn't he do?
Yeah, he was like an enigma.
Mhm.
He was.
He was into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
You know,
like.
but-
He was like the original Kevin Bacon.
You know what? When people think alpha male, they should think of Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the only actor out of the entire Lord of the Rings cast that met Tolkien.
He was also present at the last guillotining in France.
Yeah. Which came out or happened the same year that A New Hope came out. So there you go.
Odd.
How I know
love
that? I don't
historical
know.
fun
That's a random
facts.
Star Wars fact. I know. If you can call it that.
This is the facts from the well of useless knowledge.
Hey, someday you're going to be on a Star Wars trivia show, and there's going to be this question for $500. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh, well, here's another one for you. Then we'll throw this one at you. So Peter Cushing, while filming his role as Tarkin in A New Hope, he did not like the boots. So anytime that Debbie's smiling because she knows the answer to this one. Anytime that, if you'll notice, he does a lot of waist up shots. There's not a whole lot of, far back. But anytime that his feet were not in frame, he was not wearing those boots. He was wearing a pair of house shoes.
Flippers.
So you had Tarkin roaming the Death Star in
Little
house
fluffy
shoes.
bunny.
Imagine trying to act to that. You've got this intimidating guy in front of you, and you look down, and he's in slippers. It's like, you just got to stay eye level.
I can only imagine how many takes they had to cut out just with characters' eyes just going.
Yeah.
but David Prowse could get away with it because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can look
Well,
at him all I want to. Ha ha ha.
to an extent, because he was still wearing that mask that you could almost kind of see his eyes through.
This is true. This is true. But also, I mean, they brought him back too for Rogue One, which was a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a little. It wasn't like a Princess Leia moment where it was okay. We got one line and we see the back of her, and then it pans around to her face. I mean, he was I don't want to say a main character, but
An influential character.
yeah,
Mhm.
he had a lot bigger role than I thought he was going to have.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the movie in theaters initially, you know, the scene where he's introduced and all you see is his reflection in the window, I thought that was so cool. But then he turned around and I saw the CG on his face and I was like, oh.
Oh, you know what it is? I think, and honestly, because Rogue One is definitely one of my all-time favorite Star Wars. I would say definitely probably top 3. Definitely my favorite of anything Disney has put out. I've watched it so many times it's not even funny. But the thing with the CG on his face, I mean, could it have been done better? Yes. I think what it is, and I don't think CG has quite gotten there just yet. There's something about the eyes. Because you've heard the old saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. And for some reason I don't think they can quite get those eyes just right just yet. They're not quite there yet. And I think that when they do a CG character, if you look at their eyes, it kind of now they tried to get away with it in that Matrix movie with Neo, and he's got glasses on, you can't see his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but he still looks like a cartoon. Come on.
Yeah. Was it? It was just a few months ago, right? That his family or someone was trying to sue over his likeness being used.
And see, I thought that
It was a friend. A friend. Yeah, that's
friend,
right. Yeah.
I was going to say, because I thought the family had signed off and said yes.
That's
please
right.
do.
Yeah, it was a friend. Yeah.
I wonder whatever happened with that. I mean, it made headlines for a bit, then it just kind of dropped off.
I don't think it went anywhere. Like, I think he tried and it just didn't.
Because didn't
go anywhere.
What claim?
There was no cause. Like,
honestly, what claim does the friend have to it?
Yeah, he said that they had like a handshake that he would make that not happen or something like that. And that, in the legal sense, that's not enough to win a case or even get a case.
You know what that reminds me of? The episode of South Park where Kenny is on his deathbed. Basically, he's a vegetable, and Cartman comes in. He says, "I have legal authority because I'm Kenny's BFF."
Yeah. He wants him dead so he can have his PSP.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that you had mentioned that when it comes to these CG characters, the eyes kind of give it away. I think we've talked about this before. Well, whenever I'm looking at a character whose face is CG CG altered, what always gives it away for me is the lips. I don't know why, but the way that the lips move over the teeth, for some reason, that's just a dead giveaway for me.
Yeah.
They haven't mastered that.
No, the best one I've seen
with Luke in Mando.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the best one I've seen so far is Indy and Dial of Destiny, but even then, it's not quite perfect. But
I still haven't seen that one yet.
It's an improvement, though.
It's definitely.
Just watch the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole movie's good. I like the movie.
It's all right.
It's better than Crystal Skull. I can tell you that.
I really like.
To be fair, that's not really a.
No, it's not. I realized that as soon as I said it.
Yeah,
I really.
But I mean, the biggest issue I had was that the bad guy did not die in a spectacular way. The face didn't melt. They didn't get eaten by alligators. They didn't turn into a skeleton.
Oh yeah.
Their head didn't explode.
Well, it was like he got hit in the head when they were on the train, like on the pole, and still survives. Like, really? That doesn't kill you?
I was like,
okay.
Come on. It's Indiana Jones. He's got to die cool.
He may be 82, but he can still fight. Come on.
He's 82, but he fights like he's 80.
Exactly. There you go. He was probably 80 when they filmed it, actually. So there you go.
Yeah, probably. And to be fair, I mean, there are times where old Harrison Ford can make the stunt work look good. I mean, granted, this was several years ago, but in Blade Runner 2049, whenever he has that little fist fight with Kay, I mean, he was still throwing some pretty convincing punches.
Heck, there's the behind the scenes image of him punching Ryan Gosling, like actually hitting him.
Yeah, he actually did hit him.
Cam, I think I'm gonna piss you off. I still have not seen that movie.
No,
to this
Aw.
day.
That's
You know
a
what?
shame.
Blade Runner
Wow.
really turned me off when it was like every 3 or 4 years it was like, oh well, here's the new director's cut and here's the
Right.
Yeah.
ultra director's cut and here's the producer's cut, and I was just like,
So
somebody tell me
if it-
what version of this movie I'm supposed to
The
enjoy.
final cut. There you go.
yes, get the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is the final cut. That is
Mhm.
the definitive version of that movie. Watch it and then watch 2049 after. I mean, it's such
a perfect
great
movie.
pair. Oh,
It is a
it's-
perfect.
There's no
movie.
such thing.
Well,
so
it's as perfect as a movie
2049
can be.
to this day is still my all-time favorite film. After
Yeah.
when it came out in 2017, so that's 7 years that I have adored that movie.
It's my third favorite movie.
What are the first two?
The Dark Knight and Return of the King.
Oh, okay.
And then
Okay.
Back
Good
to the
choices.
Future is at 4. I'm not saying those are the 4 best movies ever made, but they're my personal favorites.
Yeah, it's but people gotta understand, especially when they get into these online debates. There's a difference between the best and your favorite.
Yeah.
Like I say, The Last Jedi is my favorite movie. Is it, or my favorite Star Wars movie? Is it the best? Hell no. But
It's
my
just the one
favorite.
you like watching the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, get it on Blu-ray and 4K.
Oh, except for
and it's worth it.
Goodfellas. Goodfellas is one of the best and
Mm-hmm.
one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
that is true. yeah.
I'll give you that one. Goodfellas is a damn good
I
film.
watched that one just the other day, like Sunday. I was excited.
Don't tell my
And-
mom I've seen it. All right.
It's a Christmas movie too. There's a Christmas scene in it, so it's got to be a
Yeah,
Christmas.
there
movie.
you go. Don't
It's the new
tell
one
my
for the
mom how I
listener,
get all
maybe.
my money, okay? Just saying.
Welcome to the party, pal. Tarkin. Tarkin popped up in Clone Wars too, which I was kind of. I don't know if I should have been surprised. I mean, it makes sense that he would have been there.
Yeah, he was in the process of moving up the ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't Moff
He was the
Tarkin.
governor,
Yes.
I think, back then
I don't even
or
know.
during that time.
Was he a governor or
Well,
I thought
was
he had a
I-
military
I was gonna say I thought he was still, like ranked in the military. I thought he was like a captain or something.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Andrew,
he-
look it up.
But he was the one though.
On
he
it.
What?
He was a captain in the Republic Navy.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
But he was also the
I
one,
said military background, all right? Come on.
and he
Yeah.
popped up 2 or 3 times in the Clone Wars because you had the one, the one series that I keep remembering him from is the one with where Anakin rescued him from the Citadel. I think that may have been the name of the. Was that the title of the episode?
The Citadel?
Sure.
I think so.
Might have been.
Well, then,
But-
and then he was at the trial of
Yeah.
Ahsoka.
And see that one's always, for some reason, that one's always second in my mind. I don't know why, but because that Citadel one for some reason just always sticks out to me. But whatever. What are you gonna do? And let's not forget his special little cameo.
Yes, the
in
Citadel was the name of that episode, just to let you know.
Wow. And just let's not forget his special little cameo in episode 3, shall we?
Oh yeah,
even though
and it was a blink and you miss it cameo, but yeah.
he was there. I'm claiming it.
And he was also in Rebels.
Yeah, yeah, he sure
He
was, wasn't he?
brought
Name of
Vader
the
to
episode,
Lothal.
David. Go.
What for Rebels?
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Clone Wars more than I liked Rebels, so
I think the episode was Siege of Lothal, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. It was he
I
popped
think
up
so.
sporadically through season 1, and then at the end of
okay.
season
So
1,
yeah,
he brought
it
Vader.
probably was Siege of Lothal.
That's right.
because
Yeah.
Siege of Lothal was like the first 3 or 4 episodes, so that would make sense.
He was overseeing the destruction of the Phoenix Squadron, punishing Imperial officers who failed to eliminate rebels.
Oh yeah, Tarkin was the one who had the Inquisitor behead those 2 Imperial officers.
Right. Yeah. Again, just evil. I mean,
Oh,
but
yeah.
a smooth evil.
He's a real villain too because he doesn't feel remorse.
Yeah.
When he does that, that's how you know he's not some kind of anti-hero or something. He's
straight villain.
Yeah, he's pretty much this isn't the way it needs to be done. So
the kind of person that's like, come here, you're a friend, and then stabs you with a knife, going in for a hug, and then
yeah.
I still haven't read the Tarkin novel, but I've heard it's really good.
I haven't read it either. I would have.
It is.
have not either.
Debbie, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked at all.
It's somewhere on my Kindle.
I'm gonna say Debbie's
right now I'm reading the new Mace Windu book, Crystal Abyss. It just came out, I don't know, last part of October maybe.
Oh, okay.
I found my copy of Allegiance, and I want to go back and read that one because that one was really good.
I was just looking up the Tarkin novel, and James Luceno writes it, and he wrote Plagueis. Right. So probably need to get this book.
Very politically charged, as I understand.
I'll have to take a look at it.
I think James Luceno wrote another Star Wars book too. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like he's done several.
Yeah. I know he did. Yeah, like you said.
Let me look it up.
Oh, you got it?
Well, I'm looking it up right now.
I was going to say the Bane trilogy, but that's not. That wasn't him. That was Drew Karpyshyn. I'm
going to see.
AC Crispin did the Boba Fett.
The New Jedi Order novels.
He did a New Jedi Order.
Yes. Some Agent of Chaos.
Agent of Chaos. Is that Darth Maul?
He did Catalyst, the Rogue One novel.
Ah, okay.
Looks like he's done a lot of Star Wars books.
Okay. So the guy's well read.
Dark Lord, Darth Vader.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
The Dark Lord trilogy.
Which the Dark Lord. If he wrote the Dark Lord trilogy, then
okay. I think it was just this Darth Vader book he wrote.
Because the Dark Lord trilogy was 3 novels that they considered 3 novels. It was Labyrinth of Evil, Revenge of the Sith, and Darth Vader: Rise of the Dark Lord.
I did read Labyrinth of Evil. That one was pretty good. I mean, it was a nice Clone Wars story. Now, granted, I read it back in middle school.
Yeah, I was going to say I read it too a long time ago.
But I do remember that I liked it quite a bit. That was kind of the book that jump-started my interest in Star Wars novels. That and Shadowhunter. So
it looks like he didn't write that trilogy. He just wrote the Rise of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got a link here of all his books.
That one was one of my favorites because that was the Darth Vader that I wanted to see. That was directly after Order 66. He's just kind of starting to get a name for himself. And let's see, you just sent this to us.
Mhm. I don't know how recent this article is, but it's one I found.
Let's see. Tarkin, Catalyst, a Rogue One novel, Darth Plagueis, Labyrinth of Evil. Oh, he did write Labyrinth of Evil. So he wrote 2 of the.
Man, those books came out the year I was born.
Yeah, so Star Wars had some good literature while you were coming up.
I know, I missed all of it. I came too late.
New Jedi Order, New Jedi Order. Millennium Falcon. I forgot about that one. That was a decent one too, if I recall. Yeah, so the Dark Lord trilogy, yes, was this Labyrinth of Evil and Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader, but the third one was Revenge of the Sith. So see, now I want to. Now I've got 2 or 3 books I need to go see if I can find, because
Put them on your Christmas list. There you go.
Get them on Audible. Have the stories read to you.
I'd like to get Catalyst.
That's what my
too.
mom is for. All right.
Does it read books to you?
Andrew, there's only so many times you can have the Very Hungry Caterpillar read to you.
That's a personal favorite. How did you know?
or the classic Everybody Poops.
Or hey, can't forget the classics like Green Eggs and Ham.
Or there was No David No. Did you ever read that one?
I don't think so.
That one was one that I liked when I was a little kid.
Try the Wonky Donkey sometime. Actually, you can read the Wonky Donkey to your kid. Read the Wonky Donkey to your little girl.
I make her read an entire Harry Potter book each night before we go to bed.
And David, you just said the words Wonky Donkey 3 times in the span of about 8 seconds.
That's awesome.
I feel like I feel like I just got whiplash. Just it's such a phrase that catches the attention. It's like Wonky Donkey. What?
Wonky Donkey.
That's one of those things that someone dares you to put into a sentence on like TV or something.
Yep, and I just did it. So go read your daughter the Wonky Donkey and enjoy yourself. Andrew, have your mom read it to you.
I'll let her know. Add it to the list.
Just make sure that when she leaves the room, she leaves the nightlight on so the monsters don't come out.
That's right.
Yeah, I got a loft bed, as you know, so a lot of tall monsters can fit into my bed.
All right. Debbie, we have gone all kinds of everywhere with Tarkin. Was there anything special about him that you wanted to talk about, or did we cover everything?
I got like 6 pages, but that's all right.
Good Lord! Wow.
We just decided this on Wednesday or Tuesday. We were talking about him.
Debbie was like, "Oh, I'm ready."
Tuesday afternoon. Holy smoke!
We got to get a website up. You know what we got to do? We got to get a website, and Debbie's articles can be all the notes she's written, so people can read them. You know,
there you go.
That way, it feels like her work is rewarded. You know,
people wouldn't like my way of writing because it tends to sound as I was told.
Hey, we have creative freedom. All right, creative freedom. All right, we don't. Judge.
I'm sure it's
better than my writing. All right,
I was going to say, I'm sure it's wonderful.
Well, no,
you don't have to listen to anybody that has said anything bad ever.
One thing about Tarkin,
I know what you're talking about, by the way.
I hated writing the other way, the sounding stupid and boisterous, and it's just cringy. That's all I can say.
Something about Tarkin that I do like, that I feel really enhances his presence within the story, is knowing that Tarkin knew who Vader was.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's again one of my.
Wasn't he one of like 3 characters that knew Anakin was Vader?
I'm not sure. We have Tarkin, now Thrawn. I forget who
Okay.
else.
I mean, it was a little late, but
Well, yeah.
If you want to dive into Legends, Xizor knew from.
Okay, because I couldn't
Shadows of the
remember
Empire.
the number of people that knew. Um,
Oh, the Inquisitor from the Kenobi series knew.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. Yeah. So more than 3. I don't know where I got 3, but there's more.
A handful.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was pretty hush hush because I'm sure Vader probably took out anybody who really knew who he was,
Well,
unless it
something
was somebody he respected and worked with closely.
something you got to remember too, though, is that Order 66 has happened, and
Mm-hmm.
the Emperor said that all Jedi are enemies of the Republic, and to continue to associate or to say that, hey, he's Anakin Skywalker. Anakin was a war hero at that point, so to say he was Anakin, people would know. Oh well, that guy there who's enforcing all of this is a Jedi, so why do you still have him around, kind of thing. So that's something I would think you would want to kind of keep under wraps as far as who he is.
Yeah.
Kind of like a superhero. You don't reveal your identity.
Tarkin also had some encounters with Thrawn. Now, can you imagine if given the time and space, those two working very closely together?
Yep. It sure would be interesting to see.
I mean, they both kind of have the same tactics and they're both strategic.
Would they have
Where-
butt heads at all, though?
Well, Tarkin tend to lean towards the fear, enforcing fear and being more brutal, where Thrawn was the exact opposite.
I don't know, because Thrawn said that was one of his big lines was fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle.
But he wasn't as bad as Tarkin. Tarkin was really, he could be brutal.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like Thrawn was more about military strategy and just ensuring he was always at least 2 steps ahead.
Or more.
I'd be scared of both, but I would be more scared if I saw Tarkin in front of me than I saw Thrawn. I mean, I'd still be scared of Thrawn, but
here's an interesting scenario. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Star Wars radio drama, and if you haven't, you need to. It's on YouTube. Go listen to it. It's great. It's awesome. We talked a little bit about it last week, I believe. But one of the I forgot who it was that was talking to Thrawn, but he was saying, "Oh well, look, you've got this new Death Star, and it can blow up planets, and is the ultimate power in the universe." And he almost kind of insinuated you could challenge the Emperor even at this point. You have control of the biggest, best weapon in the galaxy right now. You are a threat to the Emperor. And Thrawn was, or not Thrawn, but Thrawn was Tarkin. Tarkin was kind of saying, "Look, that's kind of treasonous talk. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but to say that's kind of treason." Now, imagine that scenario with Tarkin, but it's Tarkin and Thrawn, and they're both discussing this. And we've got this Death Star. You've got the way you do things. I've got the way I do things. We could make this happen.
And they also butted heads on their pet projects because Thrawn wanted to create those. I don't know what the ship was called.
The TIE Defenders.
TIE Defenders, and
I think, yeah.
And then, of course, Tarkin, he was all about the Death Star. And he pretty much squashed Thrawn's plans because he needed the money to go to the Death Star. I think that was in Rebels.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that I loved that because the TIE Defender has always been one of my favorite TIEs. They had made a Lego set of it. It was in the TIE Fighter video game. And when they actually brought it to canon in Rebels, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh, I didn't want them to lose this one. I was so excited about that. The one good thing Rebels brought to us.
Oh, whoa.
Not the only one. Now, come
Wow.
on.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
Okay, I think
Oh,
the bottom
that
row's about to
hurts.
leave.
That
Fight
hurts.
One.
Oh,
I'm not
man.
saying that
I
was
think
the
David's about to be
only
solo.
one. I'm not saying that was the only. That was one good. That was just one of the
Okay.
many good things that was brought to us by Rebels. I'm happy
Only
they
because
did.
you're a Lego fan.
True. That's true. All right. Well, we'll let it slide.
Gee, take everything I say out of context. I swear.
What we're here for.
That's what we're supposed to do. We want to twist your words. All right.
Isn't that what Star Wars fans do anyway?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm glad I'm not running for president because I would have been thrown under the bus on CNN.
Star Wars
Fox News
president
or something.
would be yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
I
that.
can see the headlines now. David says, "Yeah, I really love the Clone Wars." The article says, "David hates Rebels."
Yeah. Yeah.
No. My quote was, "I liked Clone Wars more than I liked Rebels."
Yeah.
David
Yeah.
hates the Rebels.
This is who you're voting for.
Look at who you're voting for. He doesn't even like Rebels. All right. Shameless plugs. What do we got tonight, Debbie? Oh, wait, no. Hold on.
Fan questions.
Fan questions. What do we got, Andrew?
Ooh, okay.
All right. Our first one comes from at Loki Jarson on Twitter or
Okay.
X. I'll call it X. All right, whatever. His question is tackle the evil question, as in, was Tarkin more evil than Vader?
Subjective, I'd say.
Depends
I think
on
it
the
depends
time
on
period.
what point of Vader's life we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, if it's original trilogy Vader, yes.
Well,
if it's
I mean,
new Vader.
here's the thing. I mean, Vader was very much, the boots on the ground kind of guy, whereas Tarkin was the one who put those boots on the ground. So, I mean, who's more evil, the guy who kills or the guy who tells him to kill?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And
I think
Vader
it
was
depends
Ponder
on,
that one for a minute.
Yeah.
Vader was
Well, I
able
think
to be turned, and Tarkin was not. So
exactly. Yeah. Vader still had that good in him. That he was fighting that,
Yeah.
and Tarkin
Yeah.
was like, cut his head off. I don't
Yeah,
care.
he's dead.
All right. What's for lunch?
Okay, what's the next one?
All right. Second one comes from Jonathan Heil. Is it Hill or Heil?
Heil.
Heil. Okay. If Tarkin hadn't been a casualty of the Death Star destruction, would the rebellion have succeeded?
Mm.
Probably
I don't
not.
know. If all it took were a couple of probe droids to find the rebel base on Hoth, I feel like Tarkin would have found it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be no Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
All
no.
right?
Tarkin would have escaped. He would have phoned the Emperor and said, "Hey, that rebel base? It's over here on Yavin 4. Send a
I don't
fleet
know
over."
why that was. I mean, that to me, that is the dumbest thing on both of them, on Rebels, on A New Hope, and I want to say Rise of Skywalker. It's not Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens. the bad guys are coming in this big thing that can destroy a planet. We are going to send a few ships out to go and try and blow it up because this is the plan that we have. So while these ships are flying out to meet them, we're going to stand on the planet that they're targeting and watch them to make sure that they get the job done. No, you send those ships out there and then you beat feet and get off of that planet. But no, in A New Hope, not only that, but we just blew up the friggin' Death Star. We're going to stay around long enough to have an award ceremony afterwards. I mean, even in The Last Jedi, it's like, okay, this just happened. We got to get out of here because they still know where we are. We still got to go. What was the question?
If Tarkin,
Yeah, if Tarkin had survived. Yes,
yeah,
I think it would have been a lot more difficult. And yes, I think he probably phoned the Emperor prior to the Death Star blowing up, saying, "Hey, guess what? They're on Yavin 4. We're headed that way to go blow them up." Plus, the Death Star blowing up, that's a big deal. That is something huge that would have been like, hey, the Death Star just got blown up by the rebels over Yavin 4. Well, gee, what do you think they were doing there? They were probably targeting the rebel base. Maybe we should go check that out. Either the Empire's dumb or the rebels. I can't figure it out. Somebody out there's dumb.
I think it's probably the rebels. It's like, why?
I'm sitting here trying to armchair quarterback all of Star Wars, and it's just like, would you just shut up and enjoy the movies, please?
I'm curious to know how much debris and shrapnel from the Death Star wreckage crashed down on Yavin 4.
The rebels probably stayed to find out. I mean,
there was actually a series of books called The Young Jedi Knights, and they were like junior novelizations. They weren't like ridiculously. I mean, you're talking like middle school, early high school reads kind of thing. They weren't Harry Potter by any means, but they weren't Go Dog Go. So, but they were really.
Some of them were really good.
Yeah, they were really. Some of them were really, really good. The lightsabers one was awesome. Where Tenakal lost her arm, that one was great. Where they found their crystals for their lightsabers, that was all awesome, and all of it centered around Jason and Jaina and them at their time at the Jedi Academy, where Luke was there. But the first book in that series was the Jedi Academy is happening on Yavin 4 at the temple, and Jason and Jaina go out they're out in the woods exploring something, and they come across a TIE fighter that has crashed there obviously from the Battle of Yavin. And so them and their friends set about repairing this TIE fighter, and they're going to, claim it as their ship, and they're, rebuilding this TIE fighter. It was really kind of, it was like, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't there have been crashed TIE fighters on Yavin 4? Why wouldn't there have been debris? Same thing with Endor too. I mean, you saw that same thing in Endor with the dumbest thing ever, but no, the idea that the wreckage was there wasn't dumb. The idea that you had to hold the knife up to match it, that was dumb. Because that's going to change over time. Mm-hmm. But
it was so
dumb we lost Cam.
Yeah. He couldn't take it. We're getting too far down.
Oh, okay, Debbie. What do we got? That was the last question?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Debbie, what do we got for shameless plugs? What do we got tonight?
Tomorrow night, hopefully, last week on Federation Friday over on the Geek and I podcast, I kept getting kicked out. I kept losing internet, and I don't know what was going on. It was bad. Anyway, so this week we are talking about the Galileo 7.
Great episode.
Good episode.
Yeah.
It is. It's
I don't know.
So that's over on the Geek and I podcast, 8:00 Eastern. Me, Biscardi, and Marty, and I forget his last name. I apologize. Saturday, I don't know about Geek Gauntlet because I know there was a family death with one of the members, so I don't know if they'll be back.
I know they were off last week. I know
Yeah.
that.
So that's a iffy one, but there's other, older shows you can watch that are good. Monday, we are back.
Yay! Where
Um,
are we? Are we back on Daredevil?
Venom.
oh, Venom.
I gotta go see that.
I
So
got
do
to
I.
as well. Yeah, I gotta go see it too. I've been waiting. Yeah.
I didn't want to see it opening weekend because it was like, do I want to go see it
Right.
opening week? Because by the time we talk about it, I'm gonna have forgotten about everything. But
Yeah, so Venom, hopefully if everybody can go see it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm trying to plan my weekend. Yeah.
And then Tuesday, I think I'm pretty sure will be the Sith Dominion over on the Sith Dominion YouTube channel. Dr. Dana was out because he's off on some stupid cruise.
tropical
Soaking up-
island, enjoy
Yeah, soaking up the
yourself.
sun.
Dragon.
But
Y'all
me,
did a good
Cam,
job,
and
though.
Zane,
I thought y'all did a good job.
yeah, we were just
Hey,
chilling.
you kept it under 2 hours. That was pretty cool.
Thank
You
God.
had the freedom to do that.
Cam is my favorite person now because he kept it under an hour. Or it was a little over an hour.
It was like an
but
hour 15, but still.
It
that's
wasn't
not
2 hours
bad. Yeah.
or more. Because, my bladder starts bursting by that point.
Hey, I get tired even when I'm on and it's getting to 2 hours. I'm like, oh, Dana, come on.
And then Wednesday, we'll have another episode of War of the Worlds. Wow. War of the Stars. I apologize, guys.
War of the Wars. You know.
And then we'll be back Thursday. What are we doing?
Hondo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hundo! Yes!
Yay!
Hundo!
So I've got a bunch of Hondo episodes and Venom to watch this weekend.
I love Hondo.
Oh, why don't you
They
marry
really
me?
need to
Yeah.
bring him to live
He
action.
just wants him for his money. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Andrew,
think
do you have? Oh, go
I don't
ahead.
think I'm forgetting anybody else. I keep saying I'm going to make a list and then I don't. But I always feel like
But you
I'm
have time to
forgetting
write
somebody.
6 pages of Tarkin. We get it. It's all right.
All kinds. Amongst all my other notes that I got all my Agatha notes and
My goodness. You can write like a fan. Yeah, we got to get those up on
We're gonna.
Sunday.
You know what, Debbie? I should talk to your kids because when you die, I think they ought to collect all of those notes up together and have them published, and just call them Mom's notes.
Geeky mommy or mama's geeky. I don't know.
I mean,
Thought,
I have folders and they're divided, although some of them I'm going to have to add to them, but I have folders that are Star Wars, Marvel,
Star Trek.
No, not Star Trek necessarily because we kind of do it differently over there. So there's no, because he puts up pictures of the actual episode, and so I don't need notes. I just watch the show or watch the episode before the show. And
She's not good enough, David. That's what she's saying.
I guess not.
The production quality over here is not the same. We're sorry.
And Marty always has great Star Trek, not trivia, but like behind the scenes information and all that
We
stuff.
got to renew Debbie's contract or she's going to leave us for Federation Friday.
Or start my own show, which is on what I've been saying for the last 2 years. So.
Andrew, do you have anything shameless plug wise?
No, I do not.
You do not. 16 days from now, this is my shameless plug. So 16 days from now is December the 1st. And on December the 1st, I will start. I don't have it with me. It's tucked away in my closet, but I have my Lego Star Wars Advent calendar That is
Ooh.
going to be a daily live build right here on Feast of Fandoms. We'll do just the little, whatever the little advent is, little advent build. You can sit and listen to me talk about the Legos and the build for 5 or 10 minutes every day. I don't know when I'll be doing it every day. It's not like I'll have a set time. It'll just be a kind of a, when I've got a second, I can get up here and do my live feed. We'll do it that way. But that's all going to be here on Feast of Fandoms, which means that you need to hit that like and subscribe button, but you need to hit that little bell for notifications so that you know when we go live. So you know, hey, Dave's about to be on building some Legos, and I sure do want to see that. So make sure and go check out, of course, all of our extra social medias: Instagram, Facebook, Tickety Talk. We're all over the place. It's a lot of fun. But that being said, we will see all of you next week right here on the Cantina Happy Hour. You all have a great week, and may the Force be with you all.
She's never seen Star Wars? Ted, the only people in the universe who haven't seen Star Wars are the characters in Star Wars, and that's because they lived them, Ted. That's because they lived